I closed my first real estate deal last year, and today we're just going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the numbers, talk about the process, and of course the commission, so make sure to stick around until the end. Now, if any of that sounds interesting, make sure you subscribe and turn the notification bell on right after you've gone down there and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. So my first deal, here it is, a £1.25 million house in Kew, London. And the crazy thing is that I've essentially advised the buyers on the purchase of this home from the initial viewing right up until the exchange of contracts, all at the age of 18. I've never bought anything worth more than £5,000, and here I am telling people what to do with £1.25 million. That's pretty nuts if you ask me. Now, a quick disclaimer to any of my potential clients that might be watching the channel. I have, of course, always got the expert guidance of my sales director when I'm dealing with these transactions, so I'm never really shooting into the dark. And I have, since that transaction, built a pipeline and closed around £10 million worth of property. So I'm starting to get the hang of it. Okay, so let me explain the process because it's far more painful than I could have ever imagined. It all starts at the initial viewing, which in this case was mid-September. And after that, the buyers usually come back for a second viewing before they make a decision, sometimes not. Then an offer is made. And after that offer is made, there's a bit of negotiation, a bit of backwards and forwards. This initial offer came in at the end of September for this property, and we got it agreed at the end of September. So pretty quick turnaround with the negotiation, but that just gives you sort of a rough timeline as to when things happen. After that, the conveyancing process starts, the legal process. Now, this can be painfully long. It can take months and months and months, sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8 months, or it could be done in 28 days. It's all possible depending on what lawyers you use. Of course, the tenure of the properties as well, whether it's freehold, share of freehold, leasehold, etc., etc. In this case, the deal will close at the start of December, so it took me just over 2 months to get everything wrapped up through to the point of exchange, which isn't too bad for a sort of a first exchange, if that makes sense. There were, of course, complications along the way, as I've learned is sort of normal for every deal now, but let me tell you, when it got to the point of exchange, when it got to the point of closing that deal, the feeling that I got from ringing that bell was actually amazing. It was genuinely great. It's months and months and months of hard work to get that first deal over the line, and it finally happened for me, and it was genuinely one of the best feelings, and it still remains one of the best feelings. Since then, I've closed on around four or five other deals, but that first one you really do remember. I stood up, grabbed the bell, rung it as loud as I could, and it was great. It was genuinely a fantastic feeling. Then when it came to completion day as well, and the buyers came in, and I handed the keys to them, and we had a conversation. It was just, again, one of those great feelings, one of those feelings of satisfaction, really, that I always remember. I think from the sort of conversations I've had with other colleagues, you always remember that first exchange. So that's definitely a feeling that I will remember, and a moment that I will remember. But I didn't record it, so I'm a bit annoyed. I remember going into that day feeling that we could have that first exchange based on what the solicitors were saying. So I just kept telling myself, remember to record yourself ringing that bell, because it would be quite a cool thing to share on the channel and just to have, you know, to keep for future. But I was in the moment. I got the email that we'd exchanged, and I was like, oh my god. I went straight to that bell, started ringing the hell out of it, high five to everyone in the office. It was a great feeling. But unfortunately I didn't capture it, so there we are. Now for the juicy part of the video, which you've all been waiting for, let's have a quick conversation about the commission. But just before we do, if you want more of an insight into my life as an agent here in London, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I'll be posting daily content. So compared to the States, UK agents tend to charge a lot less for their services. A seller can expect to pay anywhere between 1% and 3% upon a successful exchange of contracts. So just for reference, that's around half of what US agents charge. Now, because I work for a large corporate structure, I don't get to keep that 1% to 3%, and instead I get a cut of the commission. Now, in London, you can expect to earn anywhere between 6 to 10%, depending on what agency you work for, which area you operate in, and so on and so forth. And that can sometimes increase on a monthly rolling average basis to around 25%. So depending on your performance, you could be earning 6% or you could be earning 25%. Again, it all depends on what company you work for, where you work, and so on and so forth. So using ballpark figures, for this deal in particular, say my company charged 2% fee and I got to keep 8% of that, I'd be paid £2,000. Now say you do 2, 3, maybe 4 deals a month, the commission can start piling up and it can actually be a very well paid job, but I wouldn't say that the money is the main driver for me. at least not for now. And on top of this commission, you do also get a basic salary. Again, it all varies depending on where you work. It can range from anywhere between sort of 16,000 all the way up to 22,000, 25,000, depending on what agency you work for, but then the commission structure varies as well. At the end of the day, it all depends on how hard you work, how many deals you do, and how much real estate you sell, because it is a performance-driven industry. But it's just a sort of a bit of information that I'm trying to share with you, so you get an insight as to how I get paid, how other agents get paid, and if you're interested in the industry, that way you've got the information there. But if it is something that you're interested in, drop me a DM on Instagram. I'll see if I can help. I do get a few messages from you guys now, so I try and reply to all of them. I am very grateful for every message that I get and every comment that I get. For example, this one really made my week the other day, so keep them coming. I really do appreciate them. And with that being said, thanks for watching today, guys. Subscribe for more of the same, and I'll see you next time.